everybody. It's good to have everybody. I'm going to start out today with today's Burn Barrel podcast by declaring something. First of all, Alice is wearing the same top she wore on our first date. On our first date. Now, you had sent me a racy photograph prior to that. Had you not? You did, right?
Not really. Just a photograph.
Well, yeah, but it
wasn't racy.
Well, it was a little racy. It wasn't naked, but it was certainly racy. Well, it wasn't racy for your generation. That's not racy.
Okay.
For my generation, that was racy.
I don't know. Is that racy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, that was not something. There was a very good chance that if you ask a lady for a, let's say, bikini pic in my, or like a,
I don't think it was a bikini
lingerie
pic
pic, whatever it was.
or even.
What was it?
I think it was like a night dress kind of thing. Like
was it
nothing? I guess maybe in a way that's like lingerie, but not really.
I guess so. Anyway, if that's the kind of thing that if you asked somebody, a contemporary of mine, age-wise, in 1993, that you would have to calculate the pluses and minuses of even making that query. Because some ladies in my age would get highly offended, which is highly offended. Did I ever tell you that my girlfriend from Somerville that we took racy pictures one time? Did I ever tell you this?
I don't think so. No, go ahead.
I was only 20 years old, so before you cast judgment, and she was 23, so she was older. And I said, "Hey, I'd really love to take some racy pictures of you because I might have bought her lingerie or something." She said, "No, I'm not doing that." This is one of those young ladies who she'd already made all the mistakes, like already had racy pictures taken of her, already done all sorts of adventurous stuff with legions of men long before me. And so now she was done, whatever, she doesn't. But I really wanted to because I was a young man, and that's what you want to do, okay? So, and she said, "Nope, not doing it, unless you have a Polaroid." And at that one point, I think my brother may have had a Polaroid, but I didn't have the Polaroid. Polaroid cameras existed because
so that you couldn't keep the film, so it
you
would
couldn't
just
keep
be
the
the
film,
one-off.
so that nobody else would see it, so you could just get the picture. So I didn't have a Polaroid. Somehow I convinced her, and this girlfriend had this is my first girlfriend, we'll call it. She had a temper, like you said. She was older than me. She could be violent at times. Her dad told her how to box fight. So when she was coming at me, it was formidable. Like I was. So anyway, somehow I convinced her that it was a good idea for us to take photographs of her and just doing stuff, posing, whatever. Not naked, but pretty racy. So. And she said, "Fine," even though she had demanded previously that only with a Polaroid. And I said, "No, it's okay, and I'll drop off the film. We'll just get a pic." So this is near Ball Square in Somerville. I drop off the film at a CVS, Consumer Value Store, in Ball Square in Somerville, and then you got to wait like 3 days back then for pictures to develop. And when I picked the pictures up 3 days after, and I told her I was going to go pick the pictures up.
Yeah.
It was pictures of a young black family.
So a young black family somewhere has those other pictures.
They got the pictures of my girlfriend. And she exploded with anger. And
I'm surprised you're still here to tell the tale, to be honest with you.
The only reason I'm still here is because I went back into CVS and said, "Listen, I picked up these pictures. This is of a young black all-American family, and that's great. But the pictures I dropped off were very sensitive of a girlfriend, and I need to know if you've got those pictures, or if they're back." And she said, "Oh, that's great. Yeah, they returned them here for you." And so the family wanted pictures of their family and not of my almost naked girlfriend. But man, that was I think that pretty much that was it for. Oh no, Well, it wasn't quite it, was it? There was one time, and we still have possession of this. Then another. Is it a bad taste if I'm telling you about these girlfriends? You don't care. It's not like they're competing with you. I mean, you landed the big dog, right? Yeah, they're gone. And then I had one girlfriend who actually took a topless picture of herself in the in the London Tube station.
Yeah, that's around our house.
In one of those photo booths, and we still have it somewhere here. You know what's funny? Because she tried to take that picture back when we broke up, like in '97 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Oh, come on, that's a relic of our relationship that we had. That was a fun relationship. Come on, you know." And she said, "But you can't show anybody." And I was like, "Of course I'm not going to show anybody."
Can't believe she let you keep it.
I know. What a foolish move. It's not like a
I'm sure that's some kind of like abuse now. That would be considered some kind of emotional abuse.
I mean, I haven't really shown. You've seen it, or maybe my brother, a couple friends, but
I mean, like you could like blackmail her or something with it.
You think that's what I should do?
No, I'm saying that's like. I mean, like that's why you don't want photos of of you out there in the world.
Yeah, but I mean. I'm not quite a dirtbag, Alice, but...
well, no, I know, but I don't know.
But it's
like
I don't...
revenge porn or something.
Well, it's funny you mention that, Alice, because another person I dated in the early 2000s actually had herself filmed with a boyfriend and being amorous...
Is this the same as the first girlfriend that you took pictures of?
This is one you've met.
Okay.
Had herself filmed with a being amorous with a boyfriend. He convinced her because somehow women think it's a good idea to do this. And I said, "Oh, you're kidding me? You did that?" And she said, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, where's the video?" And she said, "Oh, he lost it." It's like, "Oh, you poor thing."
Yeah, don't believe that stuff.
Ever lost their videos of the naked?
That's so bad.
That when that guy took that video, that became the most important possession in his life. She said, and he told her he lost it, and she believed him. But maybe it's actually, maybe if you're a woman, maybe you've got to convince yourself.
You have to believe that's true, that it's lost.
It's incredible. It is such a.
But yeah, I mean, like, and I would think they must tell kids this now because of like all these scandals.
See Trish's message?
Mm-hmm.
When my parents filmed my first steps, they got back an 8-year-old's birthday party. Yeah, you never know.
The kids today will never know the risks of dropping your photos off somewhere to be developed.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things to worry about. One is if any of the pictures are going to be good. There was no preview.
Yeah, you couldn't tell.
Couldn't tell. You had to say, and if they came out really at all.
Yeah, and you had and not knowing if they were good was like a big deal because you had a limited quantity of film. You know, you would take like your 32 pictures or whatever it is, and then you would like go take the roll to be developed. You couldn't take 100 selfies of yourself until you got the perfect one.
Yeah.
There was no like second chances. That was it.
So. All right. Can I talk some politics for you?
Sure. Let's talk some politics.
I want to know why.
Did you see the
Alice is wearing the shirt that she first wore, sweater, on our first date.
I think I had another tank top under it though. I don't think I wore it as cleavage.
You looked so. You didn't.
I had another tank top under it.
What was your strategy, Alice? What was your strategy?
I don't know strategy. What does that mean?
I mean, what was your strategy? Did you make a cleavage decision?
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
Because obviously you knew you looked great.
Did I? I don't know.
And you must have thought that I would think that you looked good. Well, certainly you were younger than me, so you.
My strategy was to dress so I thought I looked good. I don't know what the question is.
Well, I mean, to strategically, did you want to be handsome and conservative? Because that's how you kind of looked. You were
I think that was the goal.
Because you weren't right. Because a month later you had the "Oops, I Did It Again" outfit on, and that was
I don't know that was
out
exactly
the window. It's interesting that you decided to ratchet it up, go full scandalous, like after weeks into it. Which reminds me of another.
Anyway, we were going to get to politics, which did you see the Manchin story I sent you?
Yes, but that's not where I want to start.
Okay.
She means Joe Manchin, not Haunted Mansion. By the way, okay, this is where I want to start. And I need your analysis on this, Alice.
Okay.
You've attended some college, right?
Indeed, I have.
Okay, so this is what I'm going to need from Allison Shattuck. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready. I'm listening.
Can you answer me what the F is going on here?
Let me be clear. If you're in a state where hurricanes often strike, like Florida or the Gulf Coast or into Texas, a vital part of preparing for hurricane season is to get vaccinated now. Everything is more complicated if you're not vaccinated and a hurricane or a natural disaster hits.
That was obviously a constructed sentence. That was created, the concept was created, and then workshopped with the communications shop, and then delivered to the American people right there.
I would think there would be more pressing concerns in a hurricane.
I mean, what are we? I mean, talk about, and Florida Cadet said, essentially tweeted this out and said F off. And yes, that is the sentiment you would be feeling.
Yeah, you're worried about like your house getting flooded and like having to evacuate on busy highways with maybe kids or pets or whatever, like dealing with all this stuff, or elderly parents and like all these moving parts. You have a lot to think about right now because you're being asked to evacuate in a lot of these counties right now.
And plus,
Biden's telling you to go.
Fossil told us 10 days ago that the pandemic was over.
Right.
So now he's really onto this? Like, how much influence does Pfizer have over this administration? This is incredible.
And since we're not actually on YouTube, we're not allowed to be on YouTube right now at this point in time, I can freely say that this isn't even like these new Omicron boosters. There's no efficacy data at all. These only went through animal tests. There's no like, do these do anything? And in the real world data, even like the other boosters that they had before, like only had a benefit for people over 70 or so. There was no, I mean, they literally didn't show a benefit, even just for hospitalizations and deaths for people under about 70 years old, the additional boosters. So there really was no reason whatsoever even to get those if you're a person of normal age. And then like on top of it, like now these Omicron boosters that have no data whatsoever, and like it's so important that you run out and get this. Like we've all had COVID now at this point. Like we understand that it's not a big deal. If you got the vaccine, you're about as protected as you're gonna be unless you're like at extremely high risk. Like I just don't get it. And I've like had people at work who are like, oh, like taking a little time off because like I'm feeling under the weather because I just got my vaccines, like my flu shot and my Omicron shot and my this and that. I'm like, I just like don't understand. Like, why are you running out to get shots? Like just because they said so? There's nothing behind it. It's crazy to me. Like I don't understand.
Yeah.
And I'm like a flu shot person, but I'm usually like a wait to see how bad the flu season is getting before I make a decision whether or not I need it this year. Because a lot of years it's like not a good match anyway. In the last few years, there hasn't even really been flu, so it hasn't mattered. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if the flu shot is a good one this year or if it not.
By the way, Kyle Young, the January 6th insurrectionist who brought a taser and used it on an officer for known, has been sentenced to 86 months or 7 years.
That's like a really long time for using a taser on a police officer.
Well, you know what? He assaulted a cop, and so
he assaulted a cop. I'm not upset about it, but I do think that's a long time.
But what bothers me is that Antler guy didn't assault anyone, and he's got like 5 years.
Right.
It's like that's BS because the judge said that the guy was iconic. So he had to go to jail for a long time. What the frig is this?
Yeah. No, all the sentences are like crazy. And it's crazy to me. The guy, I forget his name, the hairdresser guy, the walk away guy who was at the Capitol and didn't even go in. And like he was on parole and the judge is saying she's going to bring him back into court because he was like going on Tucker and talking about it. And she's like, I don't think you're really sorry. I mean, it's like, it's so weird and just political persecution-y the way they're going after them so hard. It's like, because in the Black Lives Matter ones, nobody got 84 months for anything. No. Like, that's crazy. Nobody did. And they like set buildings on fire and looted stuff. Like, how much time did those people get? That's what I want to know. If you do tase a cop, you should probably get some prison time. I'm gonna venture out on a limb and say that. But that does, like, people do less time than that for murder. Don't they? Like, I mean,
well, I don't know. I don't know.
I think they do.
So Florida Cadet is tweeting about what's going on, which is good. You guys should follow him. Follow
Yep.
him, Florida
He's
underscore
a good burn
cadet.
barrel follower, and in Florida right now, in the heart of the action. Brandon Straka, says Trish. That's right.
That's
who
right.
It is. Thomas in the chat says he's got his Omicron booster appointment at 7:30.
Oh,
So,
dude.
there you go.
That's terrible.
Well, maybe you won't catch the next 7 varieties of Omicron, since I'm sure we've all already had at least a couple of them. There's no, but I mean, like, are we going to do this again? Are we going to have another fall where we have journalists writing stories about how people got them sick and they had Omicron and they had a very serious cough? They'll have you know, like, are we not done with this? I honestly don't understand. It's crazy. Aren't people over it now?
Well, but also, it's like every time I get a booster is a sick day.
Right.
I'm literally done for that day. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's absurd. And the fact that Biden is saying it about a hurricane is like so insulting, because the fact that there's a hurricane really like draws out how unimportant the whole Omicron booster thing is, because it is so unserious, right? It's so not necessary to run out and get an Omicron booster under any circumstances, and especially during a hurricane, it would not be the first thing I would do.
But what is the reasoning for that? Why would the White House say, "Hey, let's put in some COVID"? Is the idea to be able to tout some COVID metrics or some vaccination metrics? Is that what it is?
So I suppose the most charitable interpretation would be that, like, just based on how he said it, would be that, like, if you really wanted to go out and get your Omicron booster, it's going to be trickier to schedule during the hurricane, so you should do it now. Or, like, if you get sick, that would be, like, kind of inconvenient during the hurricane. I mean, like, I don't know, but it seems nuts. It seems like an insane thing to say. And the fact that I think there's a big part of the country that can't acknowledge that's a totally insane thing to say is really a big part of the problem. Is that there are a bunch of people out there who hear Biden say that and think, yeah, it seems reasonable. Mm-hmm. If there's a hurricane, one of the first things you should do is get a COVID booster. That's not necessary for almost anyone. It's insane behavior. But anyway.
So John says, if it's something other than KMS, what's your second favorite podcast? And so that's a tough one, because everything else I listen to is political. Pretty much. Well, actually, I actually do subscribe to the Dana Carvey. What is it? Come on, who's
I don't know.
David Spade?
Okay.
I do have that. Okay. But other than that, it's all politics. So today I listened to Jerry. Yesterday I listened to Jerry. But my must go to is Commentary Magazine podcast, National Review podcast. All these are most of these are conservative.
Reason Magazine too.
Reason Magazine podcast. I like the Fifth Column podcast. I even have the what's the Dispatch, and then Jonah Goldberg, who these people all hate Trump, but they still sound conservative. Well, Commentary doesn't hate Trump. They thought he was nuts, but they like the stuff he did on Israel and some other things.
Mm-hmm.
But that's pretty much it. I do like Adam Carolla. I see that John says I listen to Adam Carolla. I do like Adam Carolla.
Scott Adams, someone said too.
Yeah, Scott Adams. You know, I did because I was going to be on. I listened to Montante, who's a Minifan, and I thought he's good. He's a New Jersey a-hole, but like a fun and cool guy, and he's exactly what you'd want, Right. And he was good, So it'd be interesting because he is a political thinker. It would be interesting to see some of the Minifans who are in the Miniverse, to see their podcasts covering other things. All right now it's Kirk wrap-up shows, and I am a huge fan. So I mean, I could listen to people talk about that all day. Yesterday we listened to Snell.
That was this morning.
Oh, was that this morning?
That was
Holy
this morning.
God, Alice. And this guy Snell he's good. He's good. He's much. I think that both of those guys were in the studio with Kirk, as I was, at least to begin with, a little nervous in the studio with Kirk to begin with. But to hear them like rolling on their own shows, they're good. These are talented people who should. Well, I was going to say who should be on the radio, but the radio has gone out of business, so they should be on podcasts. So I could listen to more of that, and I do like Manners. Who have you been with Manners?
No,
You've not been. You know him though, right?
I mean,
you've listened to him because I've listened to him.
Right. I listened to you on Manners.
It's so funny. I mean, all three of those guys, Manners, Snell, and these are KMS wrap-up shows. Manners, Snell, and Montante. They're all really.
We've been sort of on a Miniverse kick because of your
right
KMS show appearance last week, so that we've sort of been in.
Oh
that
yeah,
world
I apologize. I listened to the
week.
Blind Mike Project. I'm subscribed to that as well. I was just listening to his with Craig a couple days ago, which is also another good palate cleanser because because one of the reasons why I don't listen to a lot of heavy Trump people, but I do other than Jerry, of course, is because it's just too redundant to what I'm already thinking. I want to hear something new, and even Jerry's show is like that. Callahan, and his show today was great, but I can't. After 4 hours of talking about this stuff, it's hard for me to marinate more in this stuff. And Jerry and I are so politically aligned.
Right. It's really hard to listen to a lot of things that are very similar to what you do. I listen to almost no actual politics stuff because I watch Tucker every day pretty much.
Yeah.
And I'll dabble in Jerry. I'll sometimes listen to Kirk. The sports stuff bores me though, so if they're talking golf, I'm out. I'm sorry. Good for people who like golf. I'm not mad at you like Tom is, but I just I don't know anything about it or understand it, and I don't care about golf. But yeah, I prefer to read my political stuff. I tend to listen to more relaxing stuff. I'll listen to an audiobook or to a religion podcast or something totally off.
You absorb information all day. You're always finding stories and always looking.
Yeah, but I prefer to read stuff.
I enjoyed Tom and KMS a lot. Mike's Why Are You Laughing podcast. I haven't listened to Why Are You Laughing.
They did one on Seinfeld. We should listen to.
Yeah, I heard that.
I saw that.
By the way, what's just another thing that they said? Scott Adams. I do like Scott Adams. I was listening to more Scott Adams when he used to do those coffee clutch shows on Twitter or might have been Periscope. A few years ago, because I thought he was interesting, and I thought he was, he was part of the whole original dark web thing when he was out, him and Rubin and Rogan and Shapiro, etc. So I like him. I understand that his cartoon's been canceled all over the place.
Everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. So then
that's just crazy because people used to love Dilbert.
Yeah, I was never. My brother was a Dilbert guy, and they used to have them in his office. Just little strips on the wall. Where I didn't qualify to work in an office, so
I was gonna say it's probably more people who are in an office who find Dilbert amusing.
Yeah, not the people who clean the office, which is essentially what I was saying.
Yeah, the humor went over your head, probably.
So
politics though. Yep. So going to Joe Manchin yesterday, we talked about how his.
Did we talk about this on the air?
We talked about yesterday how they were holding up the continuing resolution over his infrastructure deal, his permitting for energy infrastructure.
Slipped in there. So the two things in that are the big.
So that's the agreement. That's why he betrayed everybody.
Right.
And voted for the Inflation Reduction Act when he said he wasn't going to, is because they said they were going to do this permitting stuff for him. Mm-hmm. So now that's gone. That went away.
That's amazing.
He agreed because they're not going to have the support to fund the government otherwise, and they have to fund the government by Friday to avoid a shutdown.
Which includes $11 billion for Ukraine.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And the Manchin took it and is not making sure.
Well, he's going to lose re-election now, I think. He just looks so bad in
this. Yes, you can't do that. This is everything for him. This is what they promised him. This is the last piece of legislation. Well, I guess the CR isn't quite legislation, but it's got legislation in it. This is the last thing that Democrats are going to get done. They're going away in a couple of months.
Yeah, at the very least in the House, it's going to be. This is the last of Biden's achievements right now, and and Joe Manchin's last chance to do anything. And I mean, I suppose he could switch parties, but it's I don't see how the people of West Virginia are going to do this anymore because they voted for him because that was like the whole idea of him was he's going to be in the middle and roadblock things to get stuff for his state.
Right. He passed the inflation-ridden climate bill for $600 billion.
So that he could get stuff.
Yes, get energy stuff for West Virginia, which is why the only reason he's there is that he's been standing up. I can't believe that this guy is folding.
And now the Republicans hate him because he betrayed them on the Inflation Reduction Act thing. And all he gets for it is now he doesn't get to bring home anything for his state, and the Dems are going to pass their thing to fund the government anyway.
I wouldn't be surprised if he retires.
I mean...
Next year, special election.
Isn't he a pretty young guy? I mean, like for the Senate,
probably in his
60s,
late 60s. For the Senate, he's very young. Yeah.
I know they're all like 85. That's so terrible that they're all so old. But yeah, I think for the Senate, he's like on the younger side. But yeah, that's terrible. That
well, I guess it
matters. What an idiot!
I guess it matters, Alice, if the margins in the Senate are still 50-50 or 49-51.
It's going to still be close. So he's next up in 2024.
Right, but then he'd still be relevant. If he's a swing vote, he's still relevant.
If he's a swing vote, he's still relevant. So
I think
2024 is going to be a tough year for Democrats, though, because there's a lot of them up. Do you know what I mean? Because the last time that group was up was 2018. So that's like a big Democrat class. So I was looking this up today. So I think there's this time there's 20 Republicans up and 14 Democrats or whatever. Like it's heavier on Republican seats. So it's like there are more, the Republicans have more to lose in this cycle.
Yeah.
But in the 2024 cycle, there are more Democrat seats that are currently Democrats up. So they stand to lose a lot more seats if it's a bad year for them, which it definitely could be if, depending who the Democrats nominate, but they're almost certainly, I don't think, going to have an incumbent president. Certainly not a popular incumbent president. I don't really envision the Biden presidency getting any better in the next 2 years. Do you?
I don't know. If every time there's a hurricane, he tells us to get vaccinated. I don't know how it's going to get much better.
And I mean, the economy stuff is just—it's
going to get worse. You see all these big players saying that we're about to go over the cliff here.
Well, did you see the mortgage rate stuff today?
I saw rental prices in the housing market.
Rental prices, but mortgage rates are up around 7-8% right now for a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. They're not done. The Fed is going to keep raising rates. They're going up. So that means that if you buy a house, your monthly payment is going to be so much more. I was plugging things into a mortgage calculator to see if you
It's amazing. It's going to be so much more. Meanwhile, we just spent $600 billion on a climate giveaway bill. Meanwhile, at the same time, we're paying off master's degrees for people with taxpayer money from people who never went to college.
It's so bad.
People who never went to college are paying for college now. Like me. I am now somebody who is paying for college. Good for me. Yay. Can I get a diploma that says effing chump or something, at least something?
I was thinking maybe you need a t-shirt, like how people wear a Harvard Dad t-shirt or whatever.
Yes.
So, because now we're all essentially Harvard dads.
I love that. Alice, we need those t-shirts. We need Mother Road.
Okay.
And we need the Winchester Sachems shirts. Okay. There's a market for those. Those might actually sell. I'll just be the craven guy that goes to all the towns that got all their things canceled. And we can do Pentucket Sachems as well. One green and white, one red and black.
Beautiful. That's a good idea.
Mother Road and Winchester Sachems.
Nice.
The logo's out there, and the hate logo is out there, and I think out there for people to use.
Nice.
But I mean that, and I was just listening to a podcast, the Brett Baer podcast, and what's his name? Harold Ford was on there, and he thinks that decision to forgive student loan could be devastating. And I can't think of what you could do other than make a literacy test at the polls. Can't think of what you could do that would be more insulting and personally offensive to so many people.
It's really bad. And not being able to afford a house is really bad. And not being able to afford your groceries is really bad. Like, these are things that matter. Theoreticals about, like, what people might do about abortion bans or something, like, that doesn't affect most people, right? Like, that's not real for people in the way that, you know, like, I can't put food on my table is real for people, right? Trish says we need a 92, no, 93, no, 94 t-shirt. Kirk Minahan's graduating year.
Oh, that's right.
I think we decided to leave Kirk alone. Tom's going to let him live his truth. So,
I mean, that was pretty, I mean, that's.
Okay. So, but I don't think we're going to make t-shirts about that. Somebody says they went to Masconomet High, and that they had the Chieftains. I don't know if they still have the Chieftains or not. I know the Wakefield Warriors is disappearing.
Oh, that is for sure. It's incredible. The Red Raiders, Melrose, got to be gone, right?
Yeah, I don't know about the Masco.
Every team now is like the Riverhawks.
I don't know.
Or the Riverhawks, or the like.
They tried to make it Panthers here too, but I think they might have changed it again because their logo was so insanely terrible and corny.
It's so wonderful. These are like great historical markers where we all did stupid stuff because a bunch of people with Range Rovers felt guilty.
Yeah, it's so bad. There's also a comment on Twitter. There's a theory.
For the record, Andy, you and I graduated in 1992, correct? 93. I did graduate in 1994. 93.
He was at least a Winchester Sachem. There's no doubt about that.
That is true. That is true. At the time, there was no debate. But now the way things work is you can go back in time. So if you change your gender, it turns out you were always Terry Shattuck the whole time.
Yeah. I
think the Sachems thing is like that, too. It'll turn out that you were always a Riverhawk. All along.
Riverhawk. Freak, it's wrong. Oh, these poor freaking talk about privileged suburbanite leafy town wretched people. You can change the name of the team. Tomahawk somehow makes somebody
the worst is when
they
do
can you
something.
believe in the straight face that the Indian sign down the street actually says all that?
I know.
At a time when the white
Trish
settlers
says they changed her high school from a Native American to a colonial patriot, which seems not
it's
better.
not changing. That is not changing.
No, my high school was the Minutemen, but which I'm surprised there's not debate about. I assume there will be. So before Kirk's kids are there or whatever.
Of course, there's no. I think he's got one in there, but
yeah,
I think there's no doubt there's going to be
because how can you be the Minutemen?
Yeah, that was
They killed the Indians. That's not okay.
They killed the Indians, absolutely. Also, they weren't tolerant of gays or trans people.
Yeah, no. Why would we look up to people like that? I can't imagine.
These are people who they were farming on First People's lands.
Yeah, but the worst is when like parents who don't like or do or into any sports want a mascot that's like something fluffy. Like they're like, we want to be the owls or something. Really,
we want to be the Dedham Snow Bunnies.
It's like, you know what, guys, name the robotics team that or something if you want to. But like, and I was on the math team, so I can say that that's not hate. Like, I'm sure we came up with stupid names for our math teams too. But like, not for the sports.
Yeah, but
the football
the
team's not going to be
the math team. Wouldn't be the Sachems unless they were especially good at math. You know, the math team would be like the Einsteins or something, right? That's the only person who's ever done math.
Okay, sure. The only person.
But I mean, you gotta be just so. I can't imagine. It's just this Indian sign in this town is so funny to me.
Somebody points out that colonial patriots did wear tights and man buns, so.
And you powdered wigs occasionally?
Yeah, a little bit gender bending, gender fluid.
Mm-hmm. That's so hilarious. When are you going to do a Substack? Because
I started one, but I didn't have time to finish
just
it.
Just half-ass it, so they have something.
I'll write the Substack tonight before I go. And I'll get up tonight's video and last night's video. Not on YouTube, because we're kicked off YouTube because of a video we put up in January that was fine from now until January and is now misinformation.
People.
Good to know. Thank you. I'm sure everyone was watching our back YouTube video with 80 views on it or whatever. So, they've stopped a lot of misinformation from spreading. Good job, guys.
That's
really well done.
You've done a good job to silence a mother of 4 and 1 dog, for whose dangerous, venomous, free speech could cause another insurrection. Sorry, coup. Ugh.
Yeah, probably. So,
I'm worried. I hope you guys are all right in the hurricane there.
yes, we have several Florida listeners.
Take lots of
Very
video, though.
concerning.
It's awesome. I mean, what?
Tom wishes a hurricane would hit him, so.
I want a hurricane. And I
But
want
have you
a
seen
tornado.
the stuff of the people in Martha's Vineyard saying it's karma if a
Yeah,
hurricane
didn't
hits
we say
Florida?
that, or was that
I
this
don't
morning
remember
before
that
the-
was on the show or not, but
I think maybe I mentioned it
Anyway.
on the other show. Today was such an intense show. Like I've been saying, I've had so much energy since I've been railing cocaine every day that I'm just kidding. I've had so much energy. I actually have never done coke, and Alice claims she has never done it. But like, so I've been taking walks in the morning because I've got all this energy,
right.
and like so some days like there's not blatant. There have been slow news days, so I usually would be gathering audio, etc. But I'm like, today was the morning. I'm like, okay, there's nothing.
So you
so-
just
So I'm just gonna like go and talk to the people, and I get so much energy that, and after this walk this morning, that I am flying high during my show in the first hour. I am flying high. I have to contain myself, and it's crazy. It's because we've changed our diets, and just because we've changed our diets, we have so much energy. I just don't know. I'm not trying to hawk anything, but anyway. So I don't know why I brought that up, but. Because that's why everything's a blur. So Alice and I talk in the mornings, and we're sending each other stuff all through the night.
Right.
Usually it's me there, and then 2.5 kids, and then oh, Sally, come here, please. Reminds me, what would happen if I did go on ADHD medication?
I don't even know what would happen. I mean, you probably have ADHD, I assume, but I don't really. People love the medication.
Ooh.
They say you like can focus and you can like do all
This
kinds
is Sally
of stuff.
Shattuck. Sally Shattuck, you claim to be 11 years old?
Yeah.
Okay. Sally Shattuck is going to be in a upcoming play, by the way, that you guys can watch. I'll talk about that later. Can you tell me what you did in class today and what was handed out to everybody?
Today, the nurse came into the classroom, and we had to watch a presentation about hygiene, and then she gave us deodorant samples.
Anything else?
How was that, Sally?
I don't know. It was pretty boring. They're like tiny.
So there's the deodorant right there. The deodorant symbol. Thank you very much, Sally. I appreciate that. Thank you. See? The daughter array is very nice. So here's my question to you.
Yes.
When the freak did we start doing this in school? Hygiene classes with a nurse? First of all, I don't think my elementary school had a nurse. And hygiene classes with a nurse, and then we're gonna hand
It's like
out.
health class.
And by the
probably.
way, we're gonna
They
hand
have-
out deodorants. And by the way, are these like on trade, or they do it for free?
I
or-
think the companies give it to them.
health class for deodorants.
Yeah, they need to like teach the kids personal hygiene.
Why are they teaching the kids personal hygiene?
Because
Can't they?
in some schools, parents are like on crack and not raising them, and
Okay.
so
Alice, would
and
you
that's
say,
not a
and
level
would
playing
you say
field.
That, did you say that? Would you say there's a lot of that in Newburyport, Massachusetts?
No, probably not. But they do it. They give the stuff to all the schools, so they all do it. And a lot of times, the state like has requirements that you have to be taught stuff in health class because some kids don't get it at home. So they like need to be equitable and make sure that everybody's on a level playing field. And
I am concerned as to where that leads. It's deodorant today, and it's God knows what else.
well,
tomorrow.
we missed the sex education year was 5th grade. So
Oh, did
we
we
were
miss that?
homeschooling during that year. That
Oh,
was
good.
that was the one where they send home the thing. for
Where's the one where they
parental
teach her
consent.
to be trans? Sally, are you trans yet? No, not as yet. Damn it! Now we can't post anything on Facebook to show everybody how cool and tolerant we are.
If we had a trans kid, we'd have to move out of state to avoid having our kids taken from us, because that's what happens in liberal states when you have a trans kid and you don't affirm every single thing.
Oh, we're having AJ Rice on, by the way. He was great on the
Okay.
show today. All right, should we do the chat?
Let's hop over to the chat.
I like how you say hop over to the. I like that, Alice.
Oh, I never know. Sometimes I say things and you don't like them.
Rarely. You look lovely today too, and
Thanks, honey.
I can't believe you're wearing the original.
I keep
date shirt.
clothes a long time because I don't
Will there be
throw
a time?
things away.
Will there be a time when we can tell people every detail about the original date?
Why would we want to tell people every detail about our first date?
Because there are some things that are just remarkable.
No.
Like the glass of water, for instance. It's remarkable.
No.
Oh, my goodness.
Why do you need to tell people everything?
Because it's fun. It's just fascinating. We'll tell it some other time. Anyway, needless to say, we were at Stadium in the Southie for a bit of it. And very shortly after that, Alice, as I was carrying her one day out of another bar to my brother's boat, lit my jacket on fire. The corduroy blazer that I loved so much. It's the only thing I wore.
Don't worry, it wouldn't fit you anymore anyway right now.
Whoa. I'm edging down to blazer territory, young lady. Hold on.
Hi, Steve from Merrimack.
Hey, Steve.
Hi,
Tom, my favorite part of the show today was when you were asking for Alice's help in identifying a political commentator.
Yeah.
It was a little something like this. This is how it sounded to me. Alice, you know the political commentator, Donna? You know, her name's Donna. She's on with Chris Christie sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, Donna. No, Tom, I don't know who you're talking about. Oh, you know who I'm talking about. Her name's Donna. Tom, how about a couple more identifiers that would make it easier for your wife? Like, I don't know, in addition to her name being Donna, I don't know, she's black. She comes in around 200 bills. She was fired from the Michael Dukakis campaign for making up scurrilous lies
she
about
was the one
George
who was
H.W.
hacked
Bush.
too, right?
No.
Wasn't her email hacked, like when in the Russia emails, where she was giving the debate questions to Hillary or whatever?
Yes.
Is that her? Yeah.
That's because she was part of the DNC there.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
200 bills. She was fired from the Michael Dukakis campaign for making up scurrilous lies about George H.W. Bush.
Yes.
She was also got into big trouble for giving Hillary Clinton the questions prior to a debate with Donald Trump in 2016.
Well, that was a town hall with Bernie there, I think.
Oh, yeah. No, but you're right, Tom. Just Donna. Everybody would know that. God almighty.
Morgan wants to know, by the way, what you're going to do with your fat guy clothes.
Well, I'm gonna hang on to them for the rebound, Morgan.
Thank God we still have all your skinny guy clothes in bins in our basement.
Oh, and I've got all
We've
the T-shirts.
moved a lot of those.
I've got all the T-shirts. 2002 is coming back, baby. You wait. My wasabi shirt, what's up shirt is coming back. Oh, all the early stuff is coming back. I think we have a new contributor here, by the way. Steve,
right.
Yes, Donna Brazil was her name.
Donna
I didn't want to
Brazil.
go there, okay, Steve, with your craven descriptions of her. She's a great woman, Donna Brazil.
Hey, Alice and Tom. This is Dana from Maine.
Hey, Dana.
Hi, Dana.
So this is interesting. I already mentioned Dana Carvey today.
Mm-hmm.
My friend.
This is Dana, who we originally thought, who emailed us, who was Dana from Maine, and we thought it was a girl. And he was like, no, I'm a guy. Dana can also be a guy's name.
Oh, I see.
Because we have a friend, Dana. Who's
I have
girl.
a friend, Dana. And there's been a tug of war in my life with Danas. We also lived near Dana Ave, where I think there was another Dana who lived on Dana Ave. No, we lived near it. I lived on Dean Road, which had a Dean. As you know.
Not a coincidence.
And Keith, by the way, Minahan's best friend.
Hey, Alice and Tom. This is Dana from Maine.
Hi, Dana.
Originally from Massachusetts. Around the same age as you, Tom. Getting old.
Yep.
Hey, when you're talking about Italian food,
Ooh.
and you're talking about tripe.
Yes.
Have you ever tried tripe on pizza? Or anything else that weird food that you eat, like canned clams?
Oh, God.
Clam pizza? I don't know. Let me know.
Well, my brother did order some kind of clam pizza, as a matter of fact, in a place
true?
in Winthrop. Yeah, it was really good, actually. It was a white pizza with clams on it. A great place in Winthrop. If somebody knows that place, it's a great place. So I have not had tripe on pizza. The problem with that is that tripe has got its own texture, and it wouldn't dance well with anything else. Tripe really, I've found, and it's not good on pasta. It's really just good in spicy marinara sauce, and that's the way to do it. It's got a very unique texture. I mean, there's no other organic thing out there that is as chewy as tripe. You know, other than the yucca plant or something. So it wouldn't work. But tripe is so gorgeously good. Oh,
sounds so gross.
I bet you probably
sounds
can't.
so gross.
Unless there's a real... I don't think you could get tripe in Maine whatsoever. Because, like, the only place that would have...
There's some cities in Maine. There might be
Look,
some.
there's Portland, but tripe is not a nouveau Italian dish. It's
There's
an
tripe
old
in New
school-
Hampshire.
Yeah, in Salem, New Hampshire, but that's like... You're right. That's Ralphie's, by the way, which we love. I love Ralphie's. Oh, I want to go to Ralphie's.
You can't eat much there.
I can't eat much there. That's true.
Is tripe allowed on our diet or no? Do we know? Well, you can't have tomato sauce, so it doesn't really help you.
So that's over. And plus, I put, 6 cups of cheese on it and hot peppers. Hot peppers I could do, I guess. Don't remind me. Oh, but that clam sauce. Give me Progresso clam sauce and angel hair spaghetti.
So I was reading the ingredients on those. They do have like cornstarch, so you can't eat like the clam sauces. Because now I've perfected the zucchini noodle for Tom now at this point. So I was looking, but they have cornstarch. But I wonder if you could like replicate clam sauce with like clams and oil and something.
You could. You could do that. Absolutely.
And you could do
Clams,
the hot
oil,
peppers,
little lemon juice,
even if you didn't do the cheese.
garlic. Yeah, I think we could. I mean, I guess that's
Because if we cook the noodles just in the zoodles,
nobody
in,
wants
like,
to hear a
olive
fat
oil.
guy salivating. I don't think.
How long has Jerry Callahan been a stick in the mud? It seems like politics just both sides of the aisle just makes people not, being able to laugh at themselves or laugh in general.
What takes both sides of the aisle? Justin, what did that say? What takes both sides of the aisle? I know what he's talking
Not
about.
being
Stick in the
able to
mud.
laugh.
It seems like politics just
Politics, okay.
both sides of the aisle just makes people not, being able to laugh at themselves or laugh in general. It's just, it's unbelievable what politics can do if you just you're hard into it.
It's funny, because Jerry was
Okay.
really salty with Kirk. We watched that together.
Yeah.
Now that we're starting to watch them, he was really kind of salty with Kirk and was not going with the flow. I loved it. 'cause
That's, by the way, how I knew
yeah.
I had hit rock bottom this morning when we had on that Minahan
Snell.
wrap-up show where I was listening to some dude speculate about the size, Jerry Callahan's size, and I was like, this is not, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah. Jerry's he's normal size. He's a little thin for a guy in his 60s, but Jerry's probably like...
Well, it didn't mean that
5'11".
size.
Oh.
I mean, he was speculating about his like
Endowment?
bulge size, yes.
Jesus, Alice.
Apparently this was a topic amongst Minifans. I don't know.
Alice.
But that's why I say that's how I knew I had hit rock bottom was I'm listening to some dude talk about this right now. Like, what is the point of my existence?
Yeah.
I may have OD'd on the Miniverse this week. I love you, but I might need like a little break.
I'm not. I will sell you down the river to them, Alice. They will come after you. I thought, but just funny because Jerry's show today with Craig, he was in a great mood, having a great time. So yeah, that was just. I don't know why Jerry. It was still good. He was still good on there, and I like Jerry being an a-hole. Like if you guys remember, back before Kirk with the Dennis and Callahan show, those guys were total a-holes. I remember that they would take calls, and you could hear Jerry go, ugh, when somebody would say anything cliche. It was wonderful. Those guys were like, they had no patience. It was great. And then with Kirk, it just got even more so. So you were dead in the water if you didn't have your A game. And even then...
You invented me knowing about Dennis and Callahan.
Oh, it's great.
Never ventured really into the AM dial before you. It was not a place where I had ever been. So
Yeah, well, they eventually got onto FM. It took Odyssey 10 years to do it, but they should have.
I'm not really big into golf, but there's a lot of golf talk on Barstool and whatnot.
Yeah, I don't get it.
It's just not my thing. I can get drunk and drive the ball, but that's as much fun as I have with golf. Okay, your thoughts?
Yeah, there's a lot of Barstool stuff is golf centric now. They're doing these mini golf tournaments.
yeah, I mean, and people are into golf. Like you say, you've said that you think I would like a driving range if I ever tried
I think you'd
it or
love it
whatever.
because it's very satisfying to drill a ball. We've got a lot of them around here.
I enjoyed. You took me to a what's it called, batting cages, and that was fun.
Yeah, you were great.
And I'd never tried that before either. But yeah, it's something cool. I could see myself like when I'm older and I have like time for stuff.
Yeah.
I could take golf lessons and try that and could think it's cool. But just
I
don't
really think
know
that you'd
anything
love
about
to go
it
to the
or
driving range with me,
interested
just
in
right
it.
down the street. And I think our kids, if our kids want to be perfect
Mm-hmm.
at everything without ever having to practice,
Yeah.
because we've raised somehow, very entitled kids. I don't know. I don't think they know how poor they are, but they don't live poor day to day. All right.
There, Bumbo nearly frightened me. Almost plums gave me a heart attack. Let me tell you something here on the farm. My name's Farmer Craig. We got some news. I'm breaking some news here.
Oh.
Here on the farm, I just got the news that gas prices
I
are
don't know too many farmers who call themselves farmer something. Gas
high, and the next door neighbor tried to romance our prize cow Bessie. Gross. And Rachel Dolezal's got an OnlyFans. Well,
did see
that's
that.
all the news on the
Yeah.
farm. See you later.
I didn't.
I've
see
heard
that.
she looks good. Jerry said she looked good.
Yeah, she did look pretty good.
You saw it?
It was all over Twitter. I couldn't avoid
Wow.
it.
Well, I didn't manage to see it, and I'm more perverted than you. Very interesting, Alice. I think you should find out about you.
I must follow different people.
Hey, Tom and Alice. Tim from down the street.
Hi, Tim.
We know Tim, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Lives near the establishment.
Yes.
Exactly. Okay. Hey,
Where
Tim.
I buy IPAs.
Hey, Tim.
I worked a job in college for a couple years, and over time I got pretty good at the job.
Yeah.
But I can't help to think that Tom Shattuck would have been just a natural for the position.
Huh.
Not only does he have the correct body shape and sharp tongue,
This is going to be Chippendales, I bet.
but he has an utter hate of giving directions.
Oh.
And I've not seen that since I worked at Interchange 15, Newton, Massachusetts, for the Mass Turnpike Authority.
No.
You would have been a great toll collector, Tom. Love the show. Bye.
Thank you, Tim. Oh man, you did a toll. Oh, were you part of the crew that like spit at Howie Carr? Was that Interchange 15? So that was Newton. That's the one after the Brighton one, the Alston Brighton one. In Newton. I don't remember. Are those tolls gone now? I think those are gone. Aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
I think the Newton tolls
Everything's
are gone.
all overhead stuff now, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think those are gone. I don't even know if the Alston one is still there. Yeah, that was a pain. Ooh. Oh man, that is great. Can you imagine being a toll collector back then when you had to hand money back and forth?
Yeah, it happened to me recently when I got the new car. I did not have the thing for to do Easy Pass. And so, like, a couple times I drove to Vermont and didn't have it, and I had to exchange.
Yeah. I see
money
the
with
orange
somebody.
fluorescent envelopes from the Easy Pass people.
Oh yeah,
and
we
I don't
have to
open them.
correct that. I think it's just because our
but-
bank account number changed or whatever, and I have to update it.
That's
But
got to
it's-
be a terrible gig, though, Tim. Unless maybe it paid well, but being a toll collector, the jobs that I've had that are the worst are jobs where the clock didn't move. Like working at a gas station, that was terrible. Not because I had any problem pumping gas, even though I never knew how to check oil and always told people their oil was fine. but because the time doesn't move and the cars just keep on coming and keep on coming and keep on coming. And time just doesn't move. And then I also happened to work in Montvale Ave in Woburn, right down the street from where I lived.
Mm-hmm.
And the only shirt they had that I had to wear was a skin-tight yellow Sunoco shirt that showed my primary roll, my side belly, my breasts, and my flabby arms. And that was the preferred, I had found out too late, preferred gas station for every beautiful Winchester High School co-ed. And they would all pull up in Jeeps and stuff like that and be, oh, you work here? Oh, that's good. And I was like, man, please, maybe should I just pour this stuff on me and light a cigarette? Oh, and the other one that was terrible was I had to make copies for a living for law firms, this copy place, and it was just the copies. I assume these days are over, but time just didn't move. It was such a depressing job. There was like 5 of us. It was a small company, privately owned. It was such a depressing job that they let us do whatever we wanted to, including smoke. They were like, whatever. This job sucks so much that you can just smoke or, do heroin, whatever you need to do, because you're going to be thinking suicidal thoughts. I mean, I don't want to say that because some people are sensitive. All right, so
I could tell you that when I worked in a warehouse overnight, and I did the organizing of price tags and the shelves and everything, that type of stuff. When we were cleaning out those bays, you would find tons of nips and stuff in there, empty. A lot of people were.
I was
drinking
never an
in
advocate
there.
for drinking on the job, ever.
Well, especially jobs like that where people are using forklifts and stuff.
Because you don't want to be buzzed. Well, right, but you don't want to be buzzed where you've got to do some thinking. That said, eventually the bartending job at the Harvard Club broke me. The waitstaff, they were all boozing it up, and part of they made it known to me immediately that when they put glasses and stuff on my tray, the tray that I use for dirty glass, I've got what those are called, that those were to be filled with bourbon. They let me know. These are the women who worked there for 25 years, and then after a while, I just joined them, and I realized that especially working at a bar for weddings, etc., well buzzed is no fun. Working well trashed is fantastic. And so,
but more likely to result in not working at all.
Right. Well, there were times when all of us were lit. Everybody on the inside, in the back of the house, was lit. Everybody out in where the wedding was in the dance floor, and bartenders and servers, everybody was lit. There were times when we went home late on Sunday, because I was working every Saturday and Sunday night or Friday. So, there was functions.
That's when you work.
Right. So it's we were rocking and rolling. I didn't invent it, and I was one of the last to jump on and say, fine. But after we did, it was holy goodness, this is living.
I'm actually a few episodes behind on this one, but I kind of agree with both of you about the ordering principles.
What was this again? Ordering principles?
About not asking the waitstaff what to order?
Oh, my, yeah. Of course he gets it, yes.
Never ask. I know other people who do. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. But you know what I can't stand? When a server has to say what their favorite is. You know what? I don't really give two shits what your favorite is.
Clean that up. I know. And that's the other side of the coin, I guess, is the over-attentive server. You're really going to love the clam strips. They're so good. Sometimes I can't put them down. Just shut up. But, I think for some people, they get charmed by servers and they're into it. And
the worst is when they bend down to the table to be close to you.
Or take a knee. Oh.
Hey!
Or if they're doing it, they call you mom.
Yeah, I never want to be called mom unless you're my kid. Thank you.
Mom, can we get you a Bloody Mary? Yeah. Yes, but don't call us mom, please. All right, Alice, this is where the music would usually go. Thank you, guys. Great chat again. This is just great. You guys are great.
You guys are on point. Love it. You can leave those chat messages at burnbarrelpodcast.com. There's a red button to leave them.
Yes. Please leave more. I love them. I think it's very interesting content.
We got 2 more shows this week still, so lots of time to leave messages. You can also reach out to us on Twitter at burnbarrelpod, facebook.com/burnbarrelpodcast.
You can't play this thing at the end?
I'd rather not.
Okay, fine. I'm going to get kicked off of anything. Aren't we on just the QAnon platforms now? Like Getter or something?
We're on Rumble, which we might move all our video streaming to. It might be better. Yeah. Because Crowdcast is annoying and sometimes people can't get in and stuff. So anyway, but you can find us for now on patreon.com/burnbarrel.
Have you exhausted the questions and comments on the... Shrimp on pizza is big in Louisiana, and it's delicious, says Trish.
Scott Adams tells his listeners they're the sexy ones. What are we? Asks John in Wakefield.
Ooh, not bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad. We'll come up with
Thomas
something.
wants to know if we were on a blind date. No, I had a crush on Tom from the radio, so
yeah,
I already liked you.
She knew that she was dealing with a level of corpulence. Wait, should I find some insult in that question, Alice? So, in other words, had Alice been clued in to my visage, she would not have gone on the date. No, but I can tell you that I didn't think Alice was as good looking as she was. I didn't. I mean, your Facebook pictures were fine.
I look weird in pictures. I don't look
Yeah,
the
it's true.
same
You
in
don't look-
pictures
yeah.
as I look in person.
You
Which
don't.
is
You look
fine. It
great
doesn't
today.
bother me at this point, but I just don't look like the same person in pictures.
Yeah, it's absolutely true.
So that's fine.
I don't question her trickery. I don't. Just, if she's finding a way to be beautiful, just you know, that's my advice to you guys. Just don't ask questions. Just let the girls do what they need to do to look like them. You know, don't be jerks about it. That's it for my thing. Okay.
That's your wisdom in life. And yeah, as always, you can talk to us for free on at Burn Barrel Pod on Twitter.
Imagine getting to talk to us for free.
I know.
Oh,
well, if
goodness.
you want to join the live chat, you can do that at patreon.com/burnbarrel, but that costs money. So, you know. But
Thank you, Thomas. Thomas says thank you. All right, we're going to have to just go, okay?
all right.
See you later.
Bye. We love you guys. Bye.
Bye.